As the first rays of sunlight spill across the East African savanna, the land awakens in a symphony of color and sound. The horizon stretches endlessly, painted in hues of gold and amber, while the silhouettes of acacia trees stand like ancient sentinels against the sky. Here, the air is thick with the scent of earth and grass, and the gentle rustle of the wind carries the promise of another day in one of the world's most vibrant natural arenas. The savanna is a land of contrasts, shaped by the relentless cycle of wet and dry seasons. During the rains, the grasslands burst into life, a lush carpet stretching as far as the eye can see. Wildflowers bloom in dazzling colors, and shallow pools reflect the sky, drawing animals from miles around. But as the dry season takes hold, the landscape transforms. Grasses wither to pale straw, dust swirls in the heat, and water becomes a precious treasure fiercely guarded by all who depend on it. Across these ever-changing plains, life flourishes in astonishing abundance. Nearly 2 million large herbivores roam the savanna, each species carving out its own niche. Towering giraffes stretch their necks to pluck tender leaves from the highest branches, while wildebeest and zebras graze in vast shifting herds, their hooves drumming a steady rhythm into the soil. Elephants, the gentle giants, move in family groups, shaping the land as they feed and travel, while impalas and gazelles dart through the grass, ever alert to the dangers that lurk nearby. The presence of these herbivores is not merely a spectacle, it is the heartbeat of the savanna. Their constant grazing shapes the vegetation, preventing the grasslands from becoming overgrown and maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. As they move, they trample seeds into the earth, fertilize the soil, and open up pathways for smaller creatures to follow. The savanna is a living tapestry woven from countless interactions between species. Birds ride on the backs of buffalo, picking off ticks and insects. Dung beetles roll their precious cargo across the plains, recycling nutrients and enriching the soil. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, plays a role in this intricate web of life. Yet, beneath this harmony lies a constant tension. At the top of the food chain, the great carnivores prowl the grasslands. Lions move with regal confidence, their golden coats blending with the sunlit grass. Cheetahs, built for speed, scan the horizon for the slightest movement. Leopards, elusive and solitary, watch from the shadows, while hyenas patrol in noisy clans, their laughter echoing across the plains. These apex predators are the masters of the hunt, their lives entwined with those of the grazers. Every day is a test of skill and endurance, a relentless pursuit of survival. The lion's roars roll across the plains at dusk, a warning and a challenge to all who hear them. But for all their power, the carnivore's existence is fraught with uncertainty. A lioness waits in the tall grass, muscles tensed, every sense attuned to the movements of the herd. A cheetah crouches low, heart pounding, calculating the perfect moment to strike. Even the most formidable hunter can go days without a meal, and a single misstep can mean hunger or injury. The fate of the predators is tied to the fortunes of their prey. When the herds move on in search of greener pastures, the hunters must follow, traversing vast distances under the relentless sun. Drought, disease, and competition can tip the scales, making survival a daily struggle for all. The relationship between predator and prey is the engine that drives evolution on the savanna. Each encounter is a contest of speed, strength, and cunning. The chase is a blur of motion and instinct, a dance as old as time itself. Predators instinctively target the young, the old, or the weak, ensuring that only the fittest survive to pass on their genes. This natural selection strengthens the herds, forging a lineage of resilience and adaptability. In response, the prey have evolved remarkable defenses. Gazelles and impalas are swift and agile, their senses finely tuned to detect the faintest hint of danger. Wildebeest calves stand and run within minutes of birth, their survival dependent on their ability to keep up with the herd. Each generation is shaped by the relentless pressure of predation, and only the most alert and agile thrive. This dynamic interplay creates a never-ending cycle of adaptation and counter-adaptation. The savanna is a crucible of evolution, where every day brings new challenges and opportunities, the thunder of hooves, the flash of claws, the sudden silence after a chase. Each moment is a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of life. Here, a split-second decision can mean the difference between life and death. The tension is palpable, every sense heightened, every movement calculated. For the animals of the savanna, survival is a game of chance and skill, played out on a stage of breathtaking beauty and danger. Yet, the savanna is not defined solely by conflict. It is a place of astonishing cooperation and interdependence. Elephants dig for water, creating pools that sustain countless other species. Termites build towering mounds that aerate the soil and provide shelter for reptiles and birds. Weaver birds construct elaborate nests, their colonies alive with color and song. The immense herds of herbivores keep the grasses in check, preventing bush encroachment and maintaining open spaces for all. The carnivores, in turn, regulate the numbers of grazers, ensuring that the land is not stripped bare. This delicate balance is the foundation of the savanna's enduring vitality. This is the Savanna Challenge, a timeless contest that has shaped the destiny of its inhabitants for countless generations. Every sunrise brings new trials, every sunset marks the survivors of another day. In this grand arena, the question lingers. Which group is better equipped for survival? The herbivores, with their numbers and vigilance, or the carnivores, with their strength and cunning? Is it the herbivore, born into a world of danger, ready to run within moments of birth, or the carnivore, raised in the art of the hunt, learning the skills of survival from the very first days of life? Both have developed extraordinary strategies, honed over millennia, to meet the demands of their environment. The great migrations, the coordinated hunts, the silent watches in the night, all are part of the endless struggle to endure. The herbivores rely on safety in numbers, constant vigilance, and the wisdom of the herd. The carnivores depend on strength, strategy, and the bonds of family and coalition. Each group is shaped by the challenges it faces, each adapting in remarkable ways to the ever-shifting fortunes of the savanna. To follow their journeys from the first tentative steps of a newborn calf to the seasoned confidence of an adult is to witness the extraordinary resilience and diversity of life on the East African savanna. Here, every creature is both challenger and challenged, and every day is a testament to the enduring spirit of the wild. On the vast, sun-drenched savanna, the birth of a herbivore is a moment of both vulnerability and urgency. The open plains offer little shelter, and every sound or movement in the tall grass could signal danger. For these animals, life begins with an immediate and pressing need for mobility. The mother, ever alert, scans her surroundings for any sign of lurking predators. There is no time for a gentle introduction to the world. The threat of lions, hyenas, or jackals is ever present, hidden by the waving grasses. After a long gestation of 8 months, a female topi gives birth, often in the early hours when the air is cool and the light is soft. She chooses a spot with good visibility, yet enough cover to briefly shield her newborn from prying eyes. The calf emerges, slick and trembling, its eyes wide open and already alert to the world. Instinctively it lifts its head, taking in the sights, sounds and scents of the savanna, a world both beautiful and perilous. The mother wastes no time. She gently but firmly nudges her calf, urging it to rise. Her instincts tell her that every second spent on the ground increases the risk of discovery by predators. The newborn struggles, its legs splaying awkwardly as it attempts to stand. The effort is immense, but within minutes the calf manages to balance on its wobbly limbs, a critical milestone in its fight for survival. This first stand is a remarkable feat, a testament to nature's design. The bond between mother and calf is immediate and strong, forged in these first moments of shared vulnerability. The calf's education begins at once. It must learn to move, to follow, to blend in with the herd. The savanna is a place of constant movement, and the herd cannot afford to linger. Even before its first taste of nourishing milk, the calf is encouraged to walk, then to run. Its muscles quiver with the effort, but the need for speed is urgent. Predators are drawn to the scent and sound of birth. Incredibly, within just 15 minutes, the calf can manage a shaky gallop. This rapid development is essential. The ability to run may be the only thing that saves it in its first hour of life. This pattern repeats across the savanna. Many large herbivores, from wildebeests to zebras, are born with the same urgent need for mobility and awareness. A zebra, too, will typically give birth to a single foal. This strategy avoids sibling rivalry for milk and allows the mother to focus all her energy and protection on one vulnerable offspring. The foal, nourished by rich milk, grows stronger with each passing day. The mother's constant vigilance and care ensure the young animal's best chance at survival. The savanna offers no safe nursery. Instead, the ability to run fast and far is the most important inheritance a young herbivore receives. The herd is always on the move, seeking fresh grazing and safety in numbers. In these early days, the young must also learn by watching and imitating adults. Every movement, every sound is a lesson in survival. Play is more than just fun. Young herbivores chase, leap, and spar, practicing the skills they will need to evade predators and interact with their peers. Young waterbucks, for example, lock their small horns and push against each other in mock battles, building strength and learning the rules of engagement. These seemingly innocent games are, in fact, vital training sessions. Each playful clash prepares them for the real challenges of adulthood. As adults, these skills will be tested in fierce battles for dominance, territory, and the right to mate, crucial moments that determine the future of the herd. Parental care is focused on fostering rapid independence. The mother leads, the calf follows, learning the routes to water, the signs of danger, and the rhythms of the herd. From almost the moment of birth, the young antelope or wildebeest is expected to keep up, requiring less direct attention for movement than many other animals. The mother's role is to provide nourishment and guidance, always alert to the shifting dangers of the open plains. This strategy allows the herd to remain mobile, constantly searching for fresh pastures and water, never slowed by helpless young. In this world, the ability to stand, run, and keep up with the herd from the very beginning is not just an advantage, it is the absolute key to survival. Every step, every lesson, every instinct, honed in these first hours and days, is a response to the challenges of the savanna, where only the swift and the vigilant endure. In stark contrast to the immediate mobility of herbivores, the birth of a carnivore is a portrait of vulnerability and dependence. Yet it is also the beginning of a story that will shape the very fabric of the savanna. A lioness preparing to give birth will leave the safety of her pride to find a secluded, hidden den. This solitary journey is the first step in a process that will ultimately influence every creature on the plains. Here she will deliver her litter of cubs, typically 3 or 4, who enter the world weighing just over 1 kilogram each. These tiny predators are born into a world where survival is never guaranteed. Their eyes are sealed shut, and they are completely helpless, unable to walk or defend themselves. For now, their only protection is their mother's vigilance and the secrecy of their den. For the first 2 months of their lives, their mother will keep them hidden away from the world, shielding them from the dangers that lurk just beyond the grass. This isolation is crucial for their survival, not just from rival predators, but also from male lions within their own pride, who might kill cubs they did not father. The savanna is a place of constant risk, and every decision the lioness makes is a calculation for her cub's survival. This period of seclusion is a time of intense maternal care. The bond between mother and cubs is forged in these hidden moments as she grooms, nurses, and protects them. The lioness must hunt for herself while also returning frequently to nurse her defenseless cubs. Her hunting strategy is one of patience and precision, stalking through the tall grass, using the element of surprise to ambush prey. Once the cubs reach about 8 weeks of age, their eyes are fully open, they are strong enough to walk, and their mother finally leads them to be introduced to the rest of the pride. This is a pivotal moment, for now the cubs will begin to learn the ways of the pride and the art of survival. Emerging from the den, the cubs encounter the vastness of the savanna for the first time. Every scent, sound, and movement is a lesson in the complex web of life that surrounds them. From this point on, they become the shared responsibility of the entire group. The pride's social structure is built on cooperation, with each member playing a role in the upbringing of the young. In a remarkable display of communal care, any lactating lioness in the pride will allow the cubs to suckle, ensuring they receive enough nourishment even if their own mother is away hunting. This system strengthens the pride and increases the chances of survival for all cubs. The pride functions as a collective family, raising its young together. This unity is essential, for the savanna is a land of fierce competition and shifting alliances. Other carnivores face similar challenges. The arrival of each new predator generation ripples through the ecosystem, affecting every species in subtle and profound ways. Spotted hyena cubs are born into a highly competitive environment. Their social structure is complex, with dominance hierarchies established from the earliest days. Litters can be large, and since births are not seasonal, a clan may have cubs of many different ages living together. This creates a dynamic social environment where alliances and rivalries are constantly shifting. Unusually for mammals, hyena cubs are born with a full set of teeth and their eyes open. This adaptation is vital, as they must be ready to compete from the very start. This is because they must be aggressive from the moment of birth, fighting with their siblings for access to their mother's milk. The strongest thrive, while the weakest often perish. For the first year of their life, this competition is fierce, and weaker cubs often do not survive. The survivors are those who learn to assert themselves, a trait that will serve them well in adulthood. This harsh upbringing prepares them for the tough, opportunistic life of an adult hyena, where assertiveness is key to securing food and status within the clan. Hyenas are both hunters and scavengers, using intelligence and teamwork to outwit their rivals and exploit every opportunity. The journey from a helpless newborn to a skilled hunter is a long one, demanding extensive parental investment. Young carnivores must master the art of stalking, the patience of waiting, and the explosive power of the chase. A solitary female leopard, for instance, will raise her single cub for up to 15 months, leaving it hidden for long periods while she embarks on dangerous solo hunts. The leopard's strategy is one of stealth and secrecy, relying on camouflage and silence to ambush prey. Young jackals are raised by both parents, who mate for life and cooperate to feed their large families by regurgitating meat at the burrow. Their hunting strategy is based on cooperation and communication, allowing them to take down prey much larger than themselves. For all young carnivores, this extended period of dependence is a critical apprenticeship. Through play and observation, they learn the skills that will one day make them effective hunters. They learn by watching, playing, and participating in controlled hunts, slowly acquiring the complex skills needed to become the formidable predators of the savanna. These lessons are not just about hunting, but about reading the landscape, understanding the movements of prey, and working together or alone to secure a meal. The arrival of carnivores on the savanna is a force that shapes the entire ecosystem. Their hunting strategies, whether the coordinated ambush of a lion pride, the blistering speed of a cheetah, or the relentless persistence of a hyena clan, determine which herbivores survive and which fall. The presence of predators keeps herbivores vigilant, constantly on the move, shaping migration patterns and grazing behavior. This dynamic tension maintains the balance of the ecosystem, preventing any one species from overwhelming the landscape. Even after a hunt, the impact of carnivores continues. Scavengers move in, ensuring that nothing is wasted and nutrients are returned to the soil, fueling the cycle of life. In this intricate web, every carnivore, from the smallest jackal to the mightiest lion, plays a vital role. Their arrival is not just a moment of birth, but the beginning of a lifelong influence on the savanna, shaping the destinies of all who share this wild and beautiful land. The savanna is a vast, ever-changing stage where survival depends on the ability to find and consume food efficiently. For herbivores, life is a constant quest for sustenance, shaped by the nutritional limitations of plant matter and the ever-present threat of predators. Grazers like zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo feed primarily on grasses, which are abundant but low in calories and protein. To meet their energy needs, these animals must spend much of their day eating, often moving in large herds to exploit the freshest pastures and reduce individual risk from predators. Browsers such as giraffes and some antelope species have evolved to feed on leaves, shoots, and twigs from trees and shrubs. The giraffe's extraordinary neck and prehensile tongue allow it to reach foliage inaccessible to other herbivores, reducing direct competition for food. This vertical feeding strategy is mirrored by elephants, who use their trunks to strip leaves and branches from both high and low vegetation, sometimes even knocking down trees to access otherwise unreachable food. The digestive systems of many herbivores are highly specialized. Ruminants, including antelope, buffalo, and wildebeest, possess multi-chambered stomachs that enable them to quickly ingest large quantities of food with minimal chewing. This food is stored and later regurgitated as cud, which is chewed thoroughly in safety, maximizing nutrient extraction from tough plant fibers while minimizing exposure to predators. Elephants, the largest land animals, are non-ruminant herbivores with a different adaptation. Their massive size allows them to process huge amounts of vegetation, up to 150 kilograms daily, by constantly feeding and moving across the landscape, shaping the very structure of the savanna as they go. Competition for food among herbivores is intense, especially during the dry season when resources dwindle. Many species have developed niche feeding strategies to reduce overlap. For example, impala and zebra may graze side by side, each preferring different grass heights, while wildebeest and buffalo often share waterholes but select different plant species. Some herbivores, like warthogs and aardvarks, exploit underground resources, digging for roots, tubers, and insects. Others, such as rhinos, specialize in grazing on short grasses, further diversifying the ways in which plant eaters coexist. The constant movement and feeding of herbivores not only sustain their own lives but also play a crucial ecological role. By grazing, browsing, and trampling, they shape plant communities, disperse seeds, and create habitats for countless other species, from insects to birds. Carnivores, in contrast, operate on a different energy budget. Lions, cheetahs, and other predators rely on the protein and calorie-rich flesh of their prey. A single successful hunt can provide enough energy to sustain a lion for days, allowing these animals to spend much of their time resting and conserving energy for the next hunt. The hunting strategies of carnivores are as varied as their prey. Lions often hunt cooperatively in prides, using stealth and teamwork to ambush large herbivores. Cheetahs rely on explosive speed and keen eyesight to chase down smaller, fleet-footed animals like gazelles. Each hunt is a calculated risk, governed by optimal foraging theory. The energy expended in pursuit must be outweighed by the caloric reward of a successful kill. Failed hunts are costly, leading to exhaustion and sometimes starvation. As a result, predators are selective, often targeting the young, old, or weak, which helps maintain the health of prey populations and the balance of the ecosystem. Scavengers such as hyenas, jackals, and vultures play a vital role in the savanna's food web. By consuming the remains of kills, they recycle nutrients and prevent the spread of disease, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. Omnivores and opportunists, like baboons and vervet monkeys, display remarkable flexibility in their diets. They eat fruits, seeds, insects, small animals, and even bird eggs, adapting quickly to seasonal changes and available resources. This adaptability allows them to thrive in a variety of habitats and conditions. Among primates, feeding strategies are diverse. Mountain gorillas are primarily herbivorous, consuming large quantities of leaves, stems, and fruit, while chimpanzees are omnivores, supplementing their plant-based diet with meat from small mammals. Chimpanzee troops even develop unique food cultures, passing down hunting techniques and dietary preferences through generations. The savanna is also home to a host of specialized feeders: termite-eating aardvarks, honey badgers raiding beehives, and birds like the secretary bird and ground hornbill hunting insects and reptiles all demonstrate the incredible range of adaptations that have evolved to exploit every available food source. Feeding strategies are not only about finding food, but also about avoiding competition and predation. Many herbivores feed in mixed species groups, increasing vigilance and reducing individual risk. Some, like wildebeest and zebra, migrate vast distances in search of fresh grazing, timing their movements to the seasonal rains. The interplay of feeding strategies among herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and scavengers creates a dynamic web of interactions. Each species, through its unique adaptations and behaviors, contributes to the health and resilience of the savanna ecosystem. In this intricate balance, every mouthful matters. From the smallest insect to the largest elephant, the quest for food shapes lives, drives evolution, and sustains the vibrant diversity of the savanna. On the vast savanna, every day is a contest of survival, where both herbivores and carnivores have evolved intricate tactics to defend themselves or to hunt. For herbivores, survival is a game of numbers, vigilance, and remarkable adaptations. Living together in a large herd is one of their most effective defense mechanisms. Wildebeest, zebras, and antelope gather in groups that can number in the thousands, creating a living shield against predators. While it might seem that a large group would be an easy target, it actually provides statistical safety for each individual. In a herd of 1,000, the odds of being singled out by a predator are dramatically reduced. Predators are forced to choose from a swirling mass of bodies, making it difficult to isolate a single victim. More importantly, a herd means hundreds of pairs of eyes, ears, and nostrils are on alert. Each animal is constantly scanning for danger, and the collective vigilance of the group is far greater than that of any individual. A single flicker of movement or a faint scent on the wind is far more likely to be detected by the group. For example, impalas can pick up the musky odor of a stalking lion long before it comes into view, and the synchronized turning of heads signals the presence of a threat to all nearby. When one individual senses danger, its alarm call or sudden flight instantly alerts the entire herd, creating a powerful, coordinated defense. Wildebeest emit a distinctive grunt, while impalas bark sharply, sending the herd into a stampede that confuses and overwhelms predators. To complement this group strategy, herbivores have evolved remarkable sensory adaptations. Antelope and gazelles possess large, mobile ears that can move independently, allowing them to triangulate the source of a sound with astonishing accuracy. Their ears swivel like radar dishes, capturing sounds from all directions. Even the faintest rustle of grass or snap of a twig can be enough to trigger a defensive response. Their eyes are positioned on the sides of their heads, granting them a wide, panoramic field of vision. This adaptation allows them to scan the horizon for predators without even turning their heads, making it nearly impossible for a hunter to approach unnoticed. This ability to see almost all around them is a life-saving trait on the open plains, where threats can come from any direction. Some species, like the Thompson's gazelle, can spot a cheetah at over 400 meters away. In stark contrast, carnivores have evolved forward-facing eyes. This binocular vision provides them with excellent depth perception, crucial for judging distances during a chase or an ambush. Lions and cheetahs rely on this acute vision to lock onto a target, calculating the perfect moment to strike. Their eyes are adapted to see well in low light, giving them an advantage during dawn and dusk hunts. Carnivores have also perfected their own set of strategies. Lions, for example, use teamwork and communication, often splitting into groups to flank and ambush their prey. A pride may spend hours stalking a herd, waiting for the right moment to attack. Cheetahs, the fastest land animals on Earth, rely on explosive speed. They can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just a few seconds, but their sprints are short-lived, lasting only 20 to 30 seconds before exhaustion sets in. While a single cheetah can take down smaller prey like gazelles, brothers from the same litter often form coalitions to hunt larger and more challenging targets such as wildebeest calves. Working together, they can outmaneuver and overpower animals that would be impossible for one cheetah alone. These coalitions use coordinated tactics. One cheetah initiates the chase, forcing a herd to scatter, while the others anticipate the escape routes and intercept the fleeing prey. This teamwork increases their hunting success and allows them to defend their catch more effectively. However, cheetahs' slender build makes them vulnerable to injury. Rather than risk a fight with more powerful predators like hyenas, they often abandon their kills. A single injury could mean starvation, as a cheetah's survival depends on its ability to run at top speed. Lions, the only truly social cats, have made cooperative hunting their signature. A pride's strength lies in its numbers and the ability to coordinate complex attacks. The lionesses of a pride typically hunt together, using their combined strength and intelligence to ambush and overwhelm prey that would be too formidable for a single hunter. They target the weakest or most isolated individuals, often using the cover of tall grass to get close before launching a surprise attack. Lionesses may fan out, encircling a herd and driving their chosen target toward hidden members of the pride. This tactic is especially effective against large, defensive animals like buffalo or wildebeest, which can be dangerous if confronted head-on. Once in range, a lioness will leap onto her prey, using her powerful forelimbs to bring it down. She often kills by suffocation, clamping her jaws over the animal's throat and holding on until it can no longer breathe. Once the prey is down, the 150-kilogram carcass is dragged back to the pride. A strict social hierarchy dictates the order of feeding. Dominant males eat first, followed by lionesses, and finally the cubs. This ensures the pride's strongest members remain healthy and able to defend the group. Despite these formidable hunting tactics, many prey animals escape. Young wildebeest and zebra foals rely on their speed and agility, often outpacing predators in the first moments of a chase. Antelope use zigzag running and sudden leaps, called stotting, to confuse and deter pursuit. Some species, like African buffalo, form defensive circles with adults facing outward and calves protected in the center. This collective defense can repel even the most determined lion pride, sometimes resulting in the predators abandoning the hunt altogether. Survival on the savannah is a constant test of adaptation and resilience. Many animals bear the scars of past encounters, each mark a testament to the ongoing battle between predator and prey. In this ever-shifting landscape, only the most resourceful and adaptable survive, ensuring the cycle of life continues. The social structure of an animal group is fundamental to its survival. and this is nowhere more evident than in the vast herds of the savannah. Here, the intricate web of relationships, communication, and cooperation forms the backbone of life for countless species. For herbivores like wildebeest, zebras, and antelope, the herd is their fortress. These animals rely on each other for protection, using a variety of signals such as alarm calls, body postures, and even synchronized movements to alert the group to danger. The herd is a dynamic, fluid community. Social bonds may be temporary, but the collective instinct for safety is ever present. When a threat is detected, a single animal's reaction can ripple through the group, triggering a coordinated flight response. Within these massive congregations, smaller family units or close-knit groups often form. Mothers and their young stay close, while bachelor males may band together at the periphery. Yet the overarching principle is that of collective security, where the many protect the few. The sheer presence of so many individuals confuses predators, making it difficult to isolate a single target from the swirling mass of bodies. Herbivores may use coordinated running patterns or sudden changes in direction to further thwart their pursuers. This social organization is not just about defense, it also facilitates finding the best grazing and water sources. Experienced individuals lead the way, and their knowledge benefits the entire group. Communication is constant. Snorts, brays, and visual cues help maintain cohesion and alertness. Among carnivores, social bonds are often deeper and more complex. Lions, for example, reinforce their relationships through shared rituals of hunting, feeding, and grooming. Vocalizations such as roars and grunts help coordinate group activities and maintain contact across distances. For lions, the pride is the center of their existence. Cubs play together, learning social rules and hunting skills, while adults cooperate in defending territory and raising young. The pride is a multi-generational family unit, typically composed of related lionesses, their offspring, and a few adult males. Each member has a role, and cooperation is essential for survival. This social structure provides immense benefits. Lionesses hunt together, using silent signals and coordinated movements to outmaneuver prey. After a successful hunt, food is shared, reinforcing bonds and maintaining the social hierarchy. The bonds between the lionesses are particularly strong, forming the stable core of the pride. Grooming and nuzzling are daily rituals that strengthen trust and resolve conflicts. Sharing a kill is a vital act, ensuring that even the youngest members receive nourishment. This cooperation is crucial for the pride's long-term success, as it fosters unity and teaches cubs their place within the group. The primates of the savannah display some of the most intricate and fascinating social lives. Baboons and vervet monkeys live in large troops, where every individual has a place in a complex hierarchy. Gorillas, though less common on the open savannah, form tight-knit family groups led by a dominant silverback. His leadership is absolute, and his presence provides both protection and stability. The silverback makes all the decisions for his family, from where to feed to when to rest. His authority is rarely challenged, and his strength deters threats from outside the group. His presence provides security, and his leadership maintains harmony within the group. Social grooming and gentle interactions reinforce bonds among family members. Chimpanzees and baboons live in larger, more complex communities called troops, which can number over 100 individuals. Within these groups, alliances shift, and social status is constantly negotiated. Communication is key. Vocalizations, facial expressions, and gestures convey everything from aggression to affection. Cooperation is seen in group defense, food sharing, and even collective childcare. Social grooming is a common activity, serving not only to keep them clean, but also to strengthen social bonds and resolve conflicts. These interactions are essential for maintaining group harmony. In some species, a male's social standing is directly linked to his reproductive success. Displays of strength, vocalizations, and even scent marking are used to establish dominance. Among the cob antelope, for example, the most dominant males establish small territories in a specific breeding area known as a lek. Here they compete for the attention of females through elaborate displays and sparring matches. Females are attracted to these central territories, and the males must constantly defend their small patch of ground from rivals in order to have the opportunity to mate. The lek is a stage for both competition and courtship. In a lion pride, the dominant males have exclusive mating rights with the females. Their status is maintained through displays of power and the ability to defend the pride from intruders. To ensure ovulation, a male will court a lioness and mate with her frequently over a period of 1 to 2 days. This intense period of bonding strengthens their connection and increases the chances of successful reproduction. These diverse social systems, ranging from the vast anonymous herd to the intimate family troop, are all evolutionary solutions to the fundamental challenges of survival and reproduction. Through communication, cooperation, and complex group dynamics, savanna animals have developed remarkable strategies to thrive in a world of constant change and competition. The East African savanna is a stage for one of nature's most breathtaking dramas, the Great Migration. But beyond this grand spectacle lies a daily unending struggle for survival, where every creature, herbivore and carnivore alike, faces a relentless series of challenges. Each day, nearly 1.5 million wildebeest, joined by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, move as one living tide across the endless grasslands. Their journey is not a single event, but a ceaseless, circular odyssey, an ancient pilgrimage dictated by the rhythm of the rains and the promise of new life. The herds are driven by hunger and thirst, compelled to follow the shifting patterns of rainfall across the vast Serengeti Mara ecosystem. The land itself transforms with the seasons, parched and cracked in the dry months, then bursting with green after the rains, offering a fleeting abundance that must be seized before it vanishes. For the grazers, every dawn brings hope and uncertainty. They must find the freshest shoots and richest pastures, always moving, always searching. The newborn calves, still unsteady on their legs, must keep pace or risk being left behind. This endless movement is the heartbeat of the savanna, shaping the land itself. Trails are carved into the earth by countless hooves, and the very landscape is moulded by the passage of these immense herds. Yet, every step forward is shadowed by danger. The open plains offer little cover, and the herds are exposed to the ever-watchful eyes of predators. The sheer size of the migration offers some safety in numbers, but it also draws the attention of every major predator, lions, hyenas, and leopards, who wait in the tall grass, patient and hungry. These predators are masters of stealth and strategy, lying in ambush along the migration routes and at the river crossings where the herds are most vulnerable. The young, the old, and the weak are singled out in the chaos. The relentless pressure from predators ensures that only the strongest and most resilient will survive to continue the journey. Even in moments of rest, the herds remain tense and vigilant. Every shadow could conceal a threat, and the setting sun brings new dangers as nocturnal hunters emerge. The journey is a river of life, winding through a landscape where every day is a gamble. The animals must keep moving, for to linger is to invite disaster. The greatest obstacles are the mighty rivers, the Mara and the Grumeti, whose swollen waters present a deadly barrier. Herds gather at the banks, anxiety mounting as the pressure from behind grows. Days may pass in tense anticipation, the air thick with fear and urgency. Suddenly, one animal leaps and the rest follow in a frenzied stampede. The river explodes with movement, hooves churning, water flying, the cries of the desperate filling the air. The currents are merciless. Many, especially the young and frail, are swept away, their struggle lost beneath the surface. But the river hides an even greater menace. Ancient predators that have waited all year for this moment. Enormous Nile crocodiles, silent and still, explode from the depths, their jaws snapping shut on the unwary. The water churns with violence as crocodiles seize their chance, turning the crossing into a desperate battle for survival. Exhausted, battered, and diminished, the survivors press on. The migration is a brutal test, a living example of nature's law. Only the fittest endure. Along the route, the evidence of struggle is everywhere. Carcasses picked clean by scavengers, the cost of survival written across the land. Tens of thousands will fall each year, claimed by predators, exhaustion, injury, or the unforgiving rivers. Their loss sustains the cycle, feeding the scavengers and predators that depend on this annual bounty. Yet the herds do not falter. Despite the losses, they press forward, driven by instinct and the unbreakable will to survive. The migration must continue, for the fate of the species depends on it. This endless cycle of movement, birth, and death is the engine of the savanna. It sustains not only the herds, but the entire web of life, predators, scavengers, and all who share this wild domain. As the sun sets over the vast plains, the savanna pulses with life and danger. Here, every day is a test of resilience, adaptation, and courage, a never-ending quest for survival in one of the world's most untamed realms. The East African savanna, a landscape sculpted by millions of years of evolution, is a living testament to the power of natural forces. Here, the balance of life is shaped not only by the animals themselves, but by the ever-changing rhythms of the environment. Seasonal rains and droughts sweep across the plains, dictating the abundance of water and the growth of vegetation. These cycles are the heartbeat of the savanna, determining when and where animals can thrive. During the wet season, the land bursts into life, supporting vast herds of herbivores. But as the dry season takes hold, waterholes shrink and grasses wither, forcing animals to adapt or move on. These seasonal changes drive one of nature's greatest spectacles, the mass migrations. Wildebeest, zebras, and antelope travel hundreds of kilometers in search of fresh grazing and water, following ancient routes etched into the memory of the land. As resources become scarce, competition intensifies. Animals gather at the last remaining water sources, and only the most resilient survive the harshest months. Predators, too, are shaped by these cycles. Their fortunes rise and fall with the availability of prey, and they must adapt their strategies to the shifting landscape. The lion, the cheetah, and the leopard each carve out their own niche, their survival dependent on timing, skill, and the abundance of prey. Scavengers like hyenas and vultures play a crucial role, cleaning the plains and recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. Natural events such as wildfires sparked by lightning periodically sweep the savanna. Though destructive, these fires are essential, clearing old growth and triggering a flush of new life. After the rains return, the land is reborn. New grass attracts herbivores, which in turn support the predators and scavengers, completing the cycle. The delicate balance between predator and prey is maintained by these natural forces, ensuring that no single species dominates for long. The rise and fall of predator populations can shift the dynamics of the ecosystem. When one predator declines, another may rise to fill the gap, altering the balance of power. Spotted hyenas, for example, are highly adaptable and can thrive when conditions favor them, sometimes outcompeting other predators. Though often seen as scavengers, hyenas are formidable hunters, capable of bringing down large prey when opportunities arise. In times of abundance, hyena clans grow bold, hunting in large groups and challenging even the most powerful predators. This competition creates a dynamic and ever-shifting landscape where each species must constantly adapt to survive. Solitary hunters like the cheetah and leopard often lose their hard-won meals to larger groups, forcing them to develop new strategies or move to less contested areas. The web of life on the savanna is intricate and interconnected. The rise or fall of one species can set off a chain reaction, rippling through the entire ecosystem. When predator numbers fall, herbivore populations can surge, leading to overgrazing and the degradation of the landscape. Prolonged droughts and resource scarcity can push the ecosystem to its limits, testing the resilience of every species. The challenges faced by the animals of the savanna are the result of natural forces: drought, predation, migration, and the relentless cycle of change. In this ever-evolving landscape, survival depends on adaptation, resilience, and the ability to move with the rhythms of the wild. Across the endless golden plains of the East African savanna, life unfolds in a breathtaking tapestry of movement, sound, and survival. Here, every dawn brings a new chapter in the ancient story of coexistence, where the fates of predator and prey are woven together in a delicate, ever-shifting balance. The lion's patient stalk, the wildebeest's thunderous migration, the elephant's gentle guidance of its herd, each behavior is a testament to the intricate strategies that have evolved over millennia. These animals are not just survivors, they are architects of the ecosystem, shaping the land and each other's destinies with every step, every call, every chase. The great migrations carve ancient pathways across the plains, fertilizing the soil and dispersing seeds, while the predators maintain the health of herds by culling the weak and the sick. Even the smallest creatures, dung beetles, birds, and insects, play vital roles, recycling nutrients and pollinating the grasses that feed the herds. The savanna is more than a stage for dramatic hunts and migrations. It is a living, breathing network of relationships where every species, no matter how large or small, depends on the others. The acacia tree shelters the giraffe, whose browsing shapes the tree's growth. The zebra's grazing patterns open up new shoots for the gazelle. The vulture's watchful eye ensures that nothing is wasted. To conserve the savanna is to safeguard this web of life, a system so finely tuned that the loss of even a single thread can unravel the whole. The thundering hooves of the wildebeest, the trumpeting of elephants, the roar of the lion, and the chorus of birds at dawn are not just sounds of the wild. They are the heartbeat of an ecosystem that sustains itself and, in turn, the world beyond. Every behavior, every migration, every birth and death is a lesson in resilience and adaptation. The savanna's inhabitants have learned to survive drought and flood, feast and famine, always finding new ways to thrive together. Their stories are written in the dust and grass, in the tracks that crisscross the land, in the silent communication between herds, and the warning calls that ripple through the air. The importance of this ecosystem extends far beyond its borders. The savanna regulates climate, stores carbon, and supports a diversity of life found nowhere else on Earth. Its grasses anchor the soil, its rivers nourish the land, and its animals keep the cycle of life in motion. The interconnectedness of the savanna is a powerful reminder that the fate of one is the fate of all. When the herds move, the predators follow. When the rains fall, the grasses grow, and life flourishes. When balance is lost, the entire system trembles. The call for conservation is not just a plea to save individual species, but a rallying cry to protect the harmony of life itself. It is a promise to honor the wisdom of the wild, to learn from the resilience of the animals, and to ensure that the savanna's story continues, untamed, unbroken, and alive with possibility. Let us be inspired by the courage of the lion, the endurance of the wildebeest, the memory of the elephant, and the unity of the herd. The future of the savanna depends on our willingness to protect its wonders, to cherish its mysteries, and to defend the intricate dance of life that has played out here for countless generations. The savanna's legacy is written in every sunrise, every migration, every heartbeat of the wild. May we answer its call, not just with words, but with unwavering commitment to the life that depends on this extraordinary land. As the sun dips below the horizon, a hush falls across the East African savanna. The golden grasses, so vibrant by day, melt into a tapestry of silver and shadow, but the savanna is far from asleep. In the cool embrace of night, a new cast of creatures emerges, each uniquely adapted to thrive in the darkness. Beneath the ghostly glow of the moon, the air comes alive with unfamiliar sounds, the high-pitched chirps of bush crickets, the haunting whoop of a distant hyena, and the soft rustle of unseen paws in the grass. For many animals, nightfall is not a time to rest, but a signal to begin. The African leopard, master of stealth, blends seamlessly with the dappled shadows. Its eyes, wide and unblinking, catch the faintest glimmer of starlight, revealing subtle movements in the undergrowth. With muscles coiled and senses sharpened, the leopard stalks silently, relying on keen night vision and padded feet to close the distance between itself and its prey. Nearby, a herd of impalas stands alert, their ears swiveling in every direction. Though darkness shrouds them, their heightened sense of hearing picks up the softest crack of a twig. They huddle close, their bodies forming a living shield, relying on numbers and vigilance to outwit the hunters that prowl the night. The aardvark, rarely seen by daylight, begins its solitary patrol. With a powerful snout and long, sticky tongue, it searches for termites and ants, feasting on insects hidden beneath the soil. Its thick skin protects it from bites, while strong claws dig effortlessly through hardened mounds. Owls glide silently overhead, their wings designed to muffle the sound of flight. With acute hearing and eyes attuned to the faintest light, they swoop down on unsuspecting rodents, their talons closing in with deadly precision. Meanwhile, the African civet slips through the shadows, foraging for fruit, insects, and small mammals, its banded tail flickering in and out of view. Even the smallest creatures are transformed by the night. Dung beetles navigate by the Milky Way, rolling their precious cargo with astonishing accuracy. Night-blooming flowers open to attract moths and bats, trading nectar for the promise of pollination. As the hours pass, the drama of the nocturnal savanna unfolds in silence and secrecy. Predators and prey move in a delicate balance, guided by senses and instincts honed over generations. Each animal, from the tiniest insect to the most powerful cat, plays a vital role in this hidden world. When dawn finally breaks, the savanna's night-dwellers retreat to their shelters, leaving only faint tracks in the dew and echoes of their passing. The secrets of the night are carried away with the mist, woven into the fabric of the land, waiting to be awakened again when the sun sets and the shadows return. As the first light of dawn glimmers across the savanna, a single thread binds every life form together: water. In this vast, sun-drenched landscape, rivers, lakes, and seasonal watering holes become more than just features of the land. They are the lifeblood of the ecosystem, shaping destinies and dictating the rhythms of survival. For many creatures, the journey to water is a daily pilgrimage. Herds of wildebeest numbering in the thousands embark on epic migrations, their hooves thundering across the plains in search of fresh grazing and life-sustaining streams. Zebras and gazelles join the procession, their patterns and colors weaving a living tapestry in motion. The route is perilous, rivers swell and shrink, and predators wait in ambush. Yet the promise of water pulls them onward, year after year, generation after generation. At the water's edge, competition is fierce. Elephants, the giants of the savanna, arrive in family groups, their trunks curling to draw cool relief from the muddy banks. Their presence commands respect. Smaller animals give way, understanding the unspoken hierarchy. Hippos wallow in the shallows, their massive forms submerged by day to escape the heat, surfacing only to breathe and graze under the cover of night. Crocodiles lurk just beneath the surface, patient and still. For them, the watering hole is a place of abundance, a crossroads where prey is plentiful and vigilance is essential. Birds gather in flocks, storks, herons, and bee-eaters, each species finding its niche along the ever-changing shoreline, plucking insects, fish, or frogs from the water's edge. The struggle for water intensifies as dry seasons grip the land, pools shrink, mud cracks, and tempers flare. Antelope and buffalo jostle for space, their bodies pressed close in uneasy truce. Lions and hyenas linger at the fringes, knowing that thirst can make even the wary drop their guard. In these moments, The savanna reveals both its harshest challenges and its deepest connections. Beyond quenching thirst, water shapes the entire web of life. Nutrient-rich floodplains nourish grasses, which feed the grazers, which in turn sustain the hunters. Even the tiniest creatures, frogs, insects, and fish, depend on the fleeting presence of puddles left by passing storms. The cycles of drought and rain dictate the timing of births, the rise and fall of populations, and the very pulse of the land. In the heart of the savanna, water is more than a resource. It is a force that unites and divides, that sparks conflict and fosters cooperation. It is the silent architect of migration, the stage upon which the drama of survival unfolds, and the wellspring from which all life flows. As the sun climbs higher, animals disperse, carrying the memory of water in their veins. The savanna waits, patient and eternal, for the next rains to fall, and for the ancient dance to begin anew. Beneath the golden grasses and scattered trees, an unsung network sustains the East African savanna, a world of plants, each uniquely adapted to survive and thrive in this challenging environment. While the animals often steal the spotlight, it is the plant life that forms the foundation of the ecosystem, shaping every life and every landscape. The most iconic residents are the grasses, tough, resilient, and endlessly renewing. Species like red oat grass and Bermuda grass carpet the plains, their roots weaving a living net that holds the soil in place against the relentless wind. During the rains, they spring to life in an explosion of green, providing a banquet for grazers. When the dry season follows, their blades wither, but their roots remain, waiting for the next shower to spark new growth. Scattered across the savanna, the acacia tree stands as a symbol of endurance. Its umbrella-shaped canopy offers shade to weary travelers and shelter to countless birds and insects. But its beauty hides a fierce defense. Sharp thorns and bitter-tasting leaves deter all but the most determined browsers. Some acacias even form alliances with ants, trading shelter in their hollow thorns for protection from herbivores. When a giraffe nibbles on their branches, the acacia releases chemicals that signal nearby trees to toughen up, turning a simple meal into a test of strategy. The baobab, with its swollen trunk and ancient silhouette, is another marvel of adaptation. Acting as a living reservoir, it stores thousands of liters of water in its spongy wood, enduring months of drought while its leaves drop away. When the rains return, the baobab bursts into bloom, offering nectar-rich flowers to bats and insects, pollinators that keep the circle of life turning. Beneath the surface, a hidden world of roots and bulbs lies dormant, awaiting the signal of rain. Wildflowers, lilies and succulents emerge in brief, dazzling displays, attracting pollinators and providing a crucial food source for insects, birds, and small mammals. Even the humble termite mound is a testament to plant ingenuity. Built from soil enriched by decomposing roots and grasses, it supports its own microhabitat of mosses and fungi. For every animal on the savanna, there is a plant that fuels its journey. Grazers nibble tender shoots, browsers stretch for leafy branches, elephants strip bark from trees while monkeys feast on fruit and seeds. In turn, these animals spread pollen and seeds, ensuring the next generation of plants will flourish. This intricate partnership extends to the tiniest creatures, dung beetles, butterflies, and bees, all playing their part in the vast web of life. Through drought and flood, fire and wind, the plants of the savanna endure. Their adaptations, deep roots, tough leaves, chemical defenses, and symbiotic relationships are the quiet engines of survival. They anchor the soil, feed the herds, shelter the birds, and shape the very climate itself. As the sun sets and shadows stretch across the plains, the silent work of the green architects continues. Their resilience and ingenuity make the savanna possible, supporting every heartbeat and every breath in this wild, ancient land. Across the East African savanna, time is measured not by clocks, but by the rhythm of the seasons. Each year the land is transformed by the shifting balance between rain and drought, a cycle as old as the plains themselves. As the first rains sweep across the horizon, the savanna awakens. Lightning forks across the sky, and the parched earth drinks deeply. Grasses surge upward in a sea of green, wildflowers burst into bloom, and hidden bulbs push through the soil. The air hums with new life as insects emerge in swarms, and pollinators dart from flower to flower, fueling a cascade of activity. For the animals, the wet season signals abundance and movement. Massive herds of wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle set out on epic migrations, following the promise of fresh grazing. Their pounding hooves churn the mud, and calves are born into a world of plenty. Predators, too, are on the move. Lions and hyenas shadow the herds, while cheetahs race across the open grasslands in pursuit of prey. Birds arrive from distant lands, filling the air with vibrant calls as they nest and rear their young. But the bounty is fleeting. As the rains fade and the dry season tightens its grip, the landscape transforms once more. Grasses turn golden and brittle, flowers vanish, leaving behind seeds and bulbs to wait out the drought. Waterholes shrink, becoming crowded oases where animals gather in uneasy truce. Elephants dig for hidden water, while antelope range farther in search of food. The scarcity of resources drives dramatic shifts in behavior. Some animals, like the wildebeest, journey hundreds of kilometers in search of new pastures. Others adapt by changing their diets or seeking shelter in the shade of ancient trees. Predators grow bolder, drawn to the last remaining water sources, while scavengers thrive in the wake of the struggle for survival. Even the plants respond to the changing seasons. Acacias drop their leaves to conserve moisture, while baobabs draw on their stored reserves. Deep roots tap hidden water tables, and seeds lie dormant, waiting for the next rains to awaken them. Fires sparked by lightning sweep across the plains, clearing dead growth and making way for renewal. Through it all, the savanna's ecosystem pulses with life, rising and falling with the seasons. Each migration, each bloom, each adaptation is a testament to the resilience of this ancient land. Here, survival depends on timing, movement, and the delicate balance between feast and famine. In the endless cycle of rain and drought, the savanna endures. It is a land shaped by change, where every creature and every blade of grass plays its part in the eternal dance of the seasons. Across the vast expanse of the savanna, an invisible thread binds predator and prey in an ancient, ever-evolving dance. This is a world where survival hinges on split-second decisions, where each species has honed its instincts and adaptations over countless generations. At dawn, a lioness crouches low in the grass, her golden coat blending seamlessly with the sunlit savanna. Her eyes fix on a herd of impala, grazing warily just beyond the reach of her shadow. The impala's ears flick, their nostrils quiver, and their bodies remain poised to bolt. For both hunter and hunted, every sense is tuned to the slightest movement, the faintest sound. Predators like lions and cheetahs rely on stealth, patience, and teamwork. Lions use coordinated group tactics, silently encircling their prey before launching a sudden, explosive attack. Cheetahs, built for speed, opt for solitary pursuits, stalking within striking distance before unleashing a breathtaking sprint that can reach up to 100 kilometers per hour. But prey animals are far from defenseless. Gazelles and impalas have evolved extraordinary agility, able to change direction in a heartbeat and leap meters into the air, confusing even the fastest pursuer. Zebras and wildebeest rely on numbers, their herds moving as one, creating a living shield against would-be attackers. Some species, like the hartebeest, stand sentry while others graze, ready to sound the alarm at the first sign of danger. The interplay is complex. If predators become too successful, their prey diminishes, and they too face hardship. If prey outmaneuvers their hunters, predator numbers decline, allowing prey populations to rebound. This delicate equilibrium is maintained through a web of checks and balances shaped by the landscape and the seasons. Adaptations abound. Hyenas, often misunderstood, are both skilled hunters and opportunistic scavengers, able to digest bone and sinew that others cannot. Wild dogs employ relentless endurance and intricate pack strategies, running their quarry to exhaustion. Even the smallest predators like servals and mongooses have carved out niches, using stealth, speed, or cunning to outwit their targets. For every chase there is a counter. Herds shift patterns, learn migration routes, and adapt to new threats. Predators refine their tactics, teaching the next generation the subtle art of hunting. This ongoing contest ensures the health of the ecosystem, preventing any one species from dominating the land. As the sun sets and the savanna cools, the dance continues beneath the stars. The balance between predator and prey is never static, forever shifting, forever vital. In this intricate tapestry, every pursuit, every escape, and every adaptation is a testament to the resilience and complexity of life on the savanna.